Some NASA shuttle workers say goodbye and thank you just before the final space shuttle launch today. Shortly after Atlantis closed its doors, workers held signs thanking those who designed, built, launched, loaded, controlled, and flew space shuttles during the program's 30-year history.
Good evening. I'm Shannon Cakin tonight for Kelly Dunn.
And I'm Jay Cashmere in for Michael Williams, who is live at the Kennedy Space Center, where he witnessed this morning the historic mission firsthand. Michael joins us live from the media compound at Kennedy Space Center to give us his impression on the final launch. Michael?
Good evening to you both. All quiet at pad 39A, about 3 miles distant. What a day it was. One of high-flying emotions, but also down-to-earth realities. Let's listen in for a moment as Atlantis roared aloft.
6, 5. All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis on the shoulders of the space shuttle. America will continue the dream.
Continue the dream. That certainly is the hope of everybody here at NASA, and tens of thousands, some say hundreds of thousands, maybe even up to 1 million all around the Space Coast gathered to watch. More than 1,500 accredited media members from around the globe were on hand to record the final liftoff of Atlantis, which now embarks on a 12, perhaps 13-day mission now to resupply the International Space Station. They'd like to stretch out one more day in space for the 4-person crew. A beautiful day, an inspiring launch. No one will question that. But back to those hard, down-to-earth realities as well. There was a lot of emotion here, some of it from workers who know that as Atlantis roared aloft, it closes a chapter in their lives. This community, the Space Coast, will go from about 15,000 people who were employed directly or indirectly by the space program down to about 8,000 because of the end of the shuttle program. They hope to ramp that back up to 10,000 in the next few years. But even though there's a lot of optimism among leaders here at Kennedy Space Center about a new manned vehicle for NASA by mid-decade, being able to put astronauts on commercial flights, it is in reality also the biggest question mark since the end of the Skylab missions, when we had about a 5 or 6 year hiatus between that and the start of the shuttle in 1981. So again, nothing to take away from the inspiration and the picture-perfect launch today. The weather cleared, Mother Nature cooperated, but for all the emotions attendant to this launch, from the people in launch control thanking the decades of work by their folks to the astronauts themselves saluting all who have supported them, all of that was wonderful, but nonetheless still concerns about what now for the Kennedy Space Center and the Space Coast. Shannon and Jay?
Michael, I'm curious, you traveled to the Cape as a young boy with your father to watch various NASA launches, and then again you mentioned earlier as a Cub reporter you covered the space shuttle launches. I know a lot of emotion from spectators today. How did it hit you personally to watch this final launch of the space shuttle program? You've watched it evolve.
You really have. I remember when the Gemini ships would go up and we'd launch and watch them over the horizon from our home in Sanford, and it was something special. So I grew up watching that. I watched Neil Armstrong on a little black and white TV live as he stepped foot on the moon. So I have to say, stepping away journalistically for a moment, certainly have been inspired by it. You certainly, though, try and frame the debates for all of you at home. But nonetheless, watching today, I had a lump in my throat and some misty eyes, and I dare say so did quite a number of other people here, journalists or not. Quite a day as she went aloft, an inspiring sight.
Michael Williams with his unique perspective up at Cape Canaveral. Michael, thank you very much.
All along